In this chapter, we cover the strategies for resume writing. More specifically, we'll be looking at the number of pages, the document flow, chronological versus functional resumes, keywords and action verbs, as well as multiple formats. Because there's a limited time in reviewing our resumes by the recruiters, a one-page resume is more effective than multiple-page document. And multiple-page documents are effective for people with a number of years of experiences, but even for those with multiple years of experiences, the information can be fit into one page by using smaller font sizes, narrower page margins, efficient page layout, and effective verbiage. Again, here the idea is to fit all of the important information into one page, knowing that there's very limited time for someone to look at our document. When we look at the document flow, really we're looking at the basics of how a document is looked at. Typically the documents are read from the top to bottom as well as from left to right. So that automatically makes the top and the left section of a document the hot spots of a resume. So therefore putting the most important information in these areas is a wise choice. Opposite of that is putting anything in the lower right side where it's typically a dead zone and less emphasis and less attention is given to that area. When we look at the types of resume, typically we have chronological and functional resumes. Chronological resumes are organized by time, and we start with the most recent information at the top and we go back in time as we go down the document. This is the most common and logical format for a resume, and that's what you see most often. That allows you to show the most recent work experience at the top, and as you go down the document you see more previous of the experiences in the document. In a functional resume format, really it presents the capabilities and expertise that the person has, and the focus is on the skills. And with the functional resume, they help de-emphasize things such as the employment gaps, the lack of relevant experiences, and insufficient work history. So if somebody has any of these situations when there are some gaps in the employment, they're changing their industry, or they have work history that may not be long enough in any given field, it might be a good idea to use a functional resume. And that basically allows for the qualifications, such as in this case accounting, bookkeeping, administration, computer and related skills, to be the focal area, and less emphasis to be put on the progression of the employment over a period of time. When we look at the resume, a resume being a one-page document that is read very quickly, every word on the document has to matter, has to be important, and needs to be paid attention. So in a selection process, we need to be very selective in what we put on our resumes, and those are really considered keywords that we need to choose very carefully to make sure that those are in line with what we apply, the position that we apply, or in the industry and the profession that we operate in. So they have to be, these keywords, they have to be specific and clear, and they have to be, again, related to the position that we're applying to, or the job experiences and work experiences that we've had in the past. Similarly, action verbs are used in creating our sections, and most bullets, they start with action verbs. They should, and they allow us to convey our background in powerful, positive, and descriptive way. These action verbs allow us to really shine through the verbiage that we put in. And here are some examples of action verbs that can be used again to open up the sections that we have. When we look at the formats of a resume, really we're looking at starting with a word processing applications such as Microsoft Word, where you create a document that can easily be printed and shared with others, as well as can be used in attaching to an email or being uploaded to a website. So that's kind of one format. Similar to that is a portable document format, the PDFs, which are really the images of a document that you may already have. And those PDFs are very good choice because they can be accessed by everyone and they are unchangeable. For the most part, no one can mess around with the format and the verbiage that is included in that document. Scannable resumes in larger settings, in larger organizations, documents are scanned and sometimes they are required to be provided in a scannable format. And what that means is that you're only going to be including text and no formatted components such as bullets, graphs, or anything like that. So therefore, scannable documents, if they're required, can be another format for our resumes. Online, obviously, it's really an offshoot of the word processing document that you may have, and in some cases they may ask you to provide your resume components section by section into an online and a website, and in this case you can easily copy and paste from your original resume in a Word format and then basically fill in the blanks in an online environment. So regardless of what type of a format you use, the resume, you may have a resume that is the core of what you have as far as your work experiences, and then you can share it in multiple formats with different people. So in this section, in this chapter, we cover the strategies for resume writing.